starting years of the MBBS, in my first year, I was so much, into anatomy rather than physiology. I was this liking towards anatomy. I used to read a lot of anatomy. So applying those plasters and slabs and, treating the patients. And one more thing in ortho is you get this instant happiness. See, the first thing we have to attend the counseling and the seat should be available. Right, it is not like I will go and I choose based upon my rank. It should be available in a good college. So what I have thought is, first my always the preference would be ortho. I'm not here to prove to the world that female is for orthopedics, but here I am to improve myself day by day. Stop blaming and start accepting. There is always time for everything in life.
Hi guys, I'm Dr. Sandeep, your surgery guy. So today we have an interesting session, especially for all the aspiring surgeons on female grounds. We have Dr. Alekhya with us, who is an orthopedic surgeon, a dynamic lady, a beautiful lady, and trust me, she's the best in her craft. Hi ma'am.
Hello sir.
How are you?
I'm fine, doing good. How are you?
I'm great. Why are you blushing? Any specific reason?
No sir.
No.
As I see you, I blush. It's been since 2017.
Okay, fine. We're not going into that detail.
Okay.
So, the basic reason that we have this podcast for our listeners is to understand that how are you able to live the life you're living. So, let's start with a basic, understanding that what led you to become an orthopedic surgeon. So, my first question is, when did you decide that you want to take surgery as a career option?
So, sir, in my MBBS, the starting years of the MBBS, in my first year, I was so much, into anatomy rather than physiology. I was this liking towards anatomy. I used to read a lot of anatomy. Then as I progressed to my third year and fourth year, I have realized that my liking is towards surgery because anatomy as the base, the surgical branches are easy. So probably my mind got shifted to the surgical branches. And by the end of my fourth year, I have decided that I'm going to take any of the surgical branches, but not sure which one. So in the internship, on the process of doing my various, experiencing with various departments, I have decided probably ortho is my choice because I used to like to work a lot than to sit and read. So applying those plasters and slabs and, treating the patients. And one more thing in ortho is you get this instant happiness. Like the patient used to come with shoulder dislocation and we used to do this maneuver of reduction and instantly the patient is happy. So that short burst of happiness gave me that joy, treating the patients then and there, and then they're thanking. And that all led to, make me choose orthopedics as profession. But then I never knew that I have to lead a family and then to balance this ortho. So that was a little bit tricky.
Right. So let me understand here. Like all those listeners know, surgeons don't like to read much. So, anatomy is an easy way to go about it. So when we are into our medical school, there are only two set of students that we have. One, those who wants to do stuff, and one, those who want to find stuff.
Okay.
All those people who wants to do probably end up taking
Yes,
surgery,
yes,
and all
yes.
those people who wants to seek, they go into medicine, radiology, and all that. So let's understand this way. You said you started drawing that, the burst of happiness. Why specifically ortho? Like, see, we have general surgery to start with.
Okay.
You have ortho, you have ENT,
Sir,
you have
to be frank, by the end of this internship, no, ENT ophthal was not my cup of tea. I mean, I was sure that I'm not going to take ENT and ophthal. My liking was whether I will take general surgery or ortho, or if not these two, then I was thinking about patho. Because after ANAT, in my second year, I was much interested in reading pathology, especially the hematology, that the blood cancers related. So I thought probably I'll take patho, if not surgical branches. So I have attended the counseling and I have got this, I've got the pathology seat in Manipal. And the next day we had counseling in our state. So there again, I've got a seat in ortho. So with the family decisions and all, no, because I had this liking for ortho, we have decided to go for ortho. So that was the same thing. The internship, what the interest I have developed, that has taken me towards this path. And general surgery, one more thing which I was afraid of is going for higher, like the super speciality.
So that's why you married a general surgeon, so that he can go higher. Okay. Now, I want you to ask another question here. Who was the first person you told that you want to take ortho as, your life choice? If you remember.
So if I remember.
Was it a friend? Was it a family member?
My mother.
And what was her reaction?
So this again, there is a story for it also. When I was in my second year, I had met with an accident. So I had an ACL tear. So it was treated by orthopedic surgeon who was supposed to be my teacher.
Okay.
So he is Dr. KJ Reddy. He is my teacher. So looking at him, my parents were so much impressed with the department as such, like the orthopedic surgery as such. But they didn't know that most of the females don't take up this branch. When I told them that I was interested doing ortho, they were so happy. They were imagining me as, that my professor, and they were like encouraging, but they didn't know that because both of them are from the non-medical background. They were thinking like females can also do, and they were happy that I was taking up ortho.
Great. So who was the first, let's say, within the community, that means in the medical community, was it your senior, was it your teacher, that, we always go down to that one senior or a teacher that or a mentor we believe and, try to get basic advices. So who was that first person who you told in the medical community or your mentor that, I'm going to take orthopedics, and what was his or her reaction like?
This was an internship, like the PGs, the postgraduates then, as I was an intern, they were asking me like, what would be your choice of, branch. So I was telling them that I would like to take ortho or general surgery. Most of them had told me not to take ortho because they were like, there would be no female then, and it is a male dominated thing, and as I am a little open, I mean, like, I'm an extrovert, so they will exploit you, this is not for you and all. But there was one sir, he's a general surgery postgraduate. That one, his name is Dr. Aditya. Now he's settled as gastroenterologist. He was the one who told me that, you can still go to ortho, and there are few females, very few, but good ones. You can take them as an example and you can walk through this path.
See, again, general surgeons, they do make a lot of sense. All
Yeah.
good decisions.
My
come from
liking is always towards surgeons.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure your liking is towards surgeons only. So, okay, so as I can hear from your story, there's no true support for you to choose orthopedics.
Yes,
it was
yes.
always a fight.
Yes.
So, there is always this, the moment where you have to be like, a lot of people are telling you it is not a female-driven
Yes.
branch.
Yes.
You will have problems. People will exploit you. There's a lot of other connotations that are attached to it. With all that baggage, that moment when you decided that I will do orthopedics, on what basis? Like, that, okay, damn everybody, I'll take it. But was there a thing, or was it a, very thought out decision?
Sir, actually the thing is, see, the first thing we have to attend the counseling, and the seat should be available, right? It is not like I will go and I choose based upon my rank. It should be available in a good college. So what I have thought is, first, always the preference would be ortho, because somehow I was very firm in taking this decision because my love was towards ortho. How many times I have questioned myself whether to take general surgery or ortho? The answer was always ortho. And I have told you that I'm, little the extrovert side, and I like doing things. So I thought maybe I have to give a chance for it. And I have the main problem here is we don't have a inspiring female role model to look up to.
True.
That is very, very, it is very, very disappointing that I just can't show, or I just can't go and ask anybody. So I have decided it for myself. If at all I was being given a seat in the counseling for ortho, then I will choose it. So it is like based upon, destiny. So as I have been allocated the seat, so I thought maybe
It's for
it's
you.
in favor for me. So I took up.
So it's basically you had,
Yeah, manifestations do
yes,
work.
everybody worked towards it and you got the seat as
So
well.
the universe has also helped me to take up ortho.
Great. So I know, because I myself being a surgeon, I know how difficulty, during the residency we have,
Yes.
especially, when you're working as an orthopedician or a general surgeon, you're constantly in casualty. The work is difficult. So I just want you to give me that idea, the first day of your residency, right? You enter to the college, good looking female, walks up into an ortho department and says, sir, I'm going to join. So how is the whole reaction like?
Yeah, I pretty remember that day very much. That was just after my birthday. My birthday was on June 11th. Yeah. So I have to join the college on June 12th. So I have 3 days before the joining, I have met the HOD and I've told him that I'll be joining on so and so date. So he was little bit strict not so welcoming. I mean, he didn't even smile at me for the first time, and he was like, "Okay, go and come back on 12th." So I went home, and I was little bit skeptical because I was little worried, and I came to know that all other colleagues are males. Only I was the one who was attending that college as a female resident in ortho.
So were you surprised? I thought you already knew that. I mean, in my general surgery posting as a resident, I don't have one single female orthopedic.
No, I was not surprised, but I was just putting up all the courage to myself, telling that, you have to be brave, you have to walk among them, you have to sit and talk with them and all. And I have to tell you one more thing. Since my childhood, I was in this girls' school and girls' college. And in MBBS also, even though it was a co-ed, but I didn't have much interaction with the boys. We were not very much, collectively doing all the things. So this would be my, greatest exposure with the male colleagues.
We are not that bad. Okay, males are still
No,
still
in
humans.
internship we had, but this close, working together. Together. So I was little bit afraid, and all that things I have in my head and all, but surprisingly, my HOD was very strong, and he was very, very welcoming on the day the day I joined. He was so happy, and he told me that we will support you in any way possible. Don't ever think there would be gender bias in the department. And to my surprise, there were one super senior working in the department as a female resident.
Oh, great.
So then I was a little bit comfortable there, and my HOD took all care. I mean, like, he used to make me feel that, you need not behave like a boy. You can be a girl and still practice orthopedics. That was what he told me. Like, you don't make yourself physical, or you don't behave like a man and walk and do all this stuff. Just instead be like a female, and still you can do ortho. And he was always explaining me about the subspecialties in the future to take up. It is not like always, you will be held up with trauma and all these things. You can still take pediatric orthopedics, or you can end up in hand surgery where, that skill thing is required rather than the physical strength.
Great. So let me understand this also, because you got such a good HOD, a mentor
Yes,
who was
very
able
good,
to
yeah.
guide you through. He was welcoming. But I'm pretty sure not everybody in the department is same.
Yes.
So if you have to tell me top 3 challenges
Okay.
that you faced being a female resident, what would be your top 3?
Yeah, top 3. The first one is microaggressions, sir.
What is microaggression?
Microaggression is that subtle comments they make. Like, if I am not giving the traction properly, immediately they'll call the male fellow. Like, they think, they themselves assume that even though the male themselves can't do that, the male is always offered a second chance, thinking that he will do it. But if it is a female in that position, no, immediately they will judge that she's unable to
not
do.
able to do
There
so.
is no second chance for me to prove. So that subtle comments they pass, like, okay, you can't do this, okay, you're not fit for this, okay, you can't handle this.
On a daily basis,
Daily
it is very,
basis,
very difficult to handle.
yeah, every day I have to prove them that I am fit to do this. Every day it is like a struggle to prove. And one day I've decided that I am not here to prove anybody. I have to improve by myself.
Great.
So that is what was running in my head. Every time somebody asks me to prove, I will just think that I'm not here to prove to the world that female is for orthopedics, but here I am to improve myself day by day. That is it. So that is what I have told to myself, and that small thing, that's subconsciously that gender bias they used to maintain.
Yeah.
And to talk such freely also, the male colleagues are not so welcoming to discuss all the things with me. They used to group up as one, and sometimes,
You're left out.
I am left alone.
Same happens in OBG also. Okay, all the females group up, and the male
Group
guy,
up,
Papa,
but-
is going to sit alone.
Yeah, he used to sit alone, but males, psychologically, I think the brain they have is stronger. And females, no, emotionally, the emotional quotient what they have, no, it is little weaker side. I used to feel very bad sometimes, when they pass such comments, and when I have not given good opportunities as my male colleagues, And one more thing is, like, they can maintain that relationship with the seniors
yeah.
and professors. As such, I can't go and talk to them. If I start talking to them, what kind of,
Yeah, I know. The
negative things what they take up in and all. So those
It's all gossips and all.
yeah, it is all the rumors, but see,
Yeah, I know,
though
but
those
it's
things,
not welcoming, correct.
yeah, they take a lot of toll on ourselves. So as a female, and that is the age again where we should get married again.
yeah.
So all these were running in my head. But yeah, though all these were there, but there were few professors and my HOD especially was very
Supportive.
supportive. Yeah.
So there were microaggression, there was gender bias.
Yes. Then physical strength sometimes,
Yeah, so that's-
especially during the menstrual time,
Yeah.
where we really feel very weak, where we don't have that strength to do, and that day only we should operate. That day only we'll have the
The
duty.
God is also, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, you know,
And that day, it will feel like, I've lost the
Could have
game.
been any other day, yeah, I know.
And asking leaves for,
XYZ reasons.
yeah,
it's
the
difficult.
approving leaves and all. So the males, no, they can manage it. They'll take permissions
No,
and
see,
all.
I do understand being a female and working in a very, you know, competitive environment where you require physical
Duty
strength.
hours, long duty
Yeah,
hours.
and you know how our resident room, we don't need to discuss about it.
Yes.
It was difficult. So these were the challenges. Okay. So when did you, obviously, you know, during your residence, as you said, you mentioned about your family and all. So when did you got married?
This was in my final year.
So how did you choose your life partner?
Choosing life partner. So when I was in my MBBS, I mean, like during our 4th year, we have this fest. I mean, every college celebrates fest, no? So in that fest, we had this debate. The debate was it was like, do you want to marry a doctor or a non-medico? So marrying a medico or a non-medico, which one do you choose and which is better? That was the debate about.
So who did you support?
I supported non-medico
Okay.
because I always wanted to see other side of the world. Medicos is all again doctors and monotonous. Yeah. Again,
But you ended up with one.
that is destiny again. So I always supported. I told my parents also that I wanted to marry a non-medico because various XYZ reasons, not very specific reasons, but somehow. But my mother, she was very particular that I'm going to
get you married into
a doctor. That
Not
she's like
typical South Indian
yes.
mentality.
Again, same thing is that the problem was with my attitude. Yeah, I'm little extrovert, I told, no.
Oh, yeah.
So it is like again extrovert and doing ortho. See, so many things I have to balance. So only if a doctor is there with you,
Probably he'll understand
support.
better.
Yeah, he will understand better. So the rest is the story which you know.
I don't know anything. I don't know. You have to tell. So you got married in your final year, right?
Yes, I got married.
So how important is a life partner, if you take a branch like orthopedics?
I have to tell you, it's very, very, very important. I mean, that is the point where a female can change her careers. So if the partner is not supportive, probably I have seen many of my friends changing their careers. I mean, changing their path.
Career path,
Most
yeah.
of them have left ortho and they have taken up hospital administration. Some
field.
other ended up being housewives at homes. So choosing a partner is very, very important.
Equally, yeah.
Yeah,
True.
it is.
And you're blessed with a very good partner. I know, I can see from your face.
Not on the camera. Maybe I can talk this personally.
But you should accept if it is there. No, it's right there. It's okay.
Yeah.
We are not going to call him and ask him questions, but I'm pretty sure you got a good partner.
Yes, I am really blessed with a very good partner, very supportive, and he always asks my comforts first, then his. And he never asked me this question of why did you take orthopedics. That is the one thing which I love in my husband is I have met hundreds of thousands of people. The first question would be why orthopedics, but till date my husband never asked me why orthopedics. So he just felt that it can be done by anybody and there is no specific reason why women cannot take up orthopedics. So probably that again destiny has helped me to select one such partner.
Great person, by the way. I must tell you. And meanwhile, I also understand that you had a
and
baby.
one more thing, even the in-laws, like my husband's parents also, they are also very welcoming. They are very happy that orthopedics, that I'm treating patients in and out 24/7, even with the baby, and every time I need support, they're always there. Instead of, asking questions, do you really need to work? Is money so important? You can take care of your child, or you can, choose a little, good specialty where this much of work is not required. But nothing, no such questions were asked to me anytime. Everybody was so supportive.
So this is Banmaska to your in-laws.
Yeah.
We got it. Okay. So I also understand that you had a baby during, after you finished your
Yes,
MS.
soon after my MS ortho, my results and my baby side by side.
So how difficult is, to balance your family life as a motherhood and being a orthopedic surgeon, which is also a very demanding job, and then to balance both of them and be able to do the way you're doing it. How difficult is that? Like if you want to give one advice to all those people who are listening to you, like motherhood, because see, this been a new thing, a lot of doctors specifically, uh, they are avoiding motherhood in pursuit of career. So you being in a challenging, situation of that sort, how do you see, and what advice would you give in order to balance it off?
So the first thing I want to tell everybody is like, first thing is orthopedics is not so difficult now. Not only the physical strength is required because change in the technology, and there are various new techniques have come up, and it has made it simpler ways. Like first remove that concept of being physically strong. That is not at all required. The only thing you require is the passion towards the branch. Like you have to choose ortho over everything, then only you can succeed in this career. It is not like the option. So if you're not getting any other branch and if ortho is available for you, it is not by chance you're taking ortho. It should always be by choice. And the one more thing is, this microaggression is there, but you have to be strong because you are the one who have chosen this path. So
How emotionally it is draining.
it is, sir. It is emotionally draining. It is like it is there everywhere, but in ortho it is more because of the gender bias. That's it.
So it's like, every day people tell you that you're not good, you're not good, you're not good. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I've told that we are not here to prove anything. We're just to improve.
So you just
Yeah, that is my mantra.
that's a tagline.
Yeah, that's my mantra. And coming to the motherhood, so once I have received these results, I've got the results and I've got so and so marks, I've cleared my MS. The moment that same month I have given birth to a baby girl. So I have taken a break of 6 months because soon after the delivery I couldn't join. So I've taken a break of good 6 months break I've taken, and then I've joined into a medical college where the work is little at a lower side because you have PGs for you to help for the work, the physical work and all. So 6 months I have managed that way, and next after 1 year I have joined the trauma fellowship. So for that also the support of the family was main pillar for me. Pillar of strength was my family. They were supporting so much. I was little unhappy for giving birth to a baby at an early age because it was just after my MS. I couldn't practice, and as a surgical branch we need that hands-on immediately. But later what I realized is giving birth was also equally important for me because by the time I finished my MS I was 28. So I thought probably again it is because of the God's blessing only I have given birth at such a early age, even it was in my in middle of my career or something. But I also tell everybody, all the females out there, try to plan your pregnancy before 30, even though your career is at stake. But please choose giving birth over career, because over 30, 35, what we are seeing, that current trend is people are struggling to get conceived. Even my gynecologist was very, very,
Persistent about
yeah,
it.
she was very persistent that I am going to take up this pregnancy at any cost, because she told me that later there will be a lot of complications and all. So
Yeah,
we have
understand.
continued with the baby. And somehow I was depressed in that 6 months not practicing. But over a period, I realized that that was the
Equally
most
important.
precious, moments of my life. And I've enjoyed it every bit, that complete 6 months. Later, I could again pursue my career. So we should always have that strength, because this is there in every branch. This is not only limited to ortho.
True.
Every surgical branch has this gap. Even the gynecologist will have this gap. The only thing you have to tell yourself is this time will pass. You have to not blame the your situation or any other person in your life. Just stop blaming and start accepting. There is always time for everything in life, and it will fall in its place.
True. One more question. A lot of times when we talk about orthopedics and females, the commonly pointed towards question is radiation exposure,
Yes, sir.
because you're constantly being exposed to X-rays. You're shooting. One word that I always hear in an ortho OT is shoot.
Shoot.
God knows what you're shooting. So what would you take on that? That radiation exposure, then the career, then motherhood, then the risk of breast cancers, ovarian cancers, all these are also associated with ionizing radiations. So if let's say a young female doctor who is watching this, and if she also have a similar concern, thinking about radiation exposure and family and life per se, so what would be your advice to them?
So radiation exposure is mainly required for trauma cases. So, and the various studies have been conducted on this regarding the pregnancy and radiation exposure. If we use the lead aprons, whatever we are supposed to wear, the lead jackets, and there are thyroid guards, and if you use that, the radiation is very, very minimal. And we can carry the work, the whatever work we are doing on that radiation, you can happily carry out. But the first trimester, as we say, no, that radiation exposure will be more in that. Once you are trying to conceive or you have already conceived, we can just stop or give a pause for that period of time. That is inevitable. We can't, keep basing on this records, we can't go and get exposed. But it is better to, take precautions. Safe.
So basically, it's not a big deal.
It's not a very big deal.
Great.
So always, we'll have this gaps. Every working female will have these gaps. If we just, if we get feared about these gaps and if we don't continue the career, there is nothing else to do.
Correct.
So just take these gaps as a learning, as a lesson or special moments in your life, and then just keep carrying away.
True, very true. So, right, so it's a great chat with you. I mean, I know there are a lot of questions which are answered. I've been enlightened as well. If you have to give one message to all those girls who are watching us, should they go for a surgical branch or not? Or should they go for orthopedics per se?
Yes, they have to definitely go. There are various committees, there are various institutions which are now bringing up this diversity. They want to eliminate the gender bias. For that, I request all the male colleagues also to encourage the females in your departments, especially in ortho. They need your encouragement because they don't have these female role models for them to look up to. So you have to encourage them, and at least if you can make one female, like, who is really shining in the department, there will be lots of them following. So I think the males also should talk about it, and they should bring this awareness that females can definitely shine in ortho. But one more thing, you have to be very cautious about choosing the partner also. Choose the partner wisely and plan your career wisely. So that is the main thing. But ortho is definitely the option for women.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
It was an enlightening talk. I hope everybody who is listening have enjoyed, they have gotten their answers. If you have any further questions, you can reach out Dr. Alekhya on Instagram. You can tag me as well, Dr. Sandeep, the surgery guy.
There's one more question I have.
Oh.
How do you feel as a husband to an orthopedic surgeon? I mean, what are your hurdles or hindrances or your messages to all the males out there accepting a female orthopedic surgeon as their wife?
Ma'am, I think it's not a short question. We need to do an entire podcast on that. Being a husband to an orthopedic wife is challenging. But at the same time, it is fruitful also. Your bank account is flushed. So I don't have a complaint per se. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes. Thank you so much.
All right, guys, signing off.
Thank you.